What's up, fellas? What's up, ladies? What's going on, beautiful people of the United States of America and around the world, guys? We are here again today, live people. And first, I want to say blessings to you guys, your family, anybody close to you guys. It's a blessed day, beautiful day. It's actually evening time right now. Today, guys, we are going to touch on a personal development topic, guys, and very important here. Our Cali Walks here, we focus on main areas: uh, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, lastly, financial health, guys. Now, today, guys, today's topic is going to fall under more personal development, and it's going to fall in the realms of mental and emotional health, guys. All right. And the topic today is the effects of watching too much television and streaming and the brain, guys. So, uh, now, if you watch my past videos or even listen to my past podcasts, I talk about the effects of other bad habits, right? And these are habits, guys, that that a lot of people do that have been picked up in life, have been picked up along the way, and these are bad habits that you may be doing. These are bad habits that I know I have done personally in my life, and I know. Kind of just feeling it be from experience, but then not only that, but then being able just to overcome it and stay consistent on not falling back into those bad habits there, but also doing even uh, finding out more about why it is bad, right? Why is this such a bad thing? Because you know, these habits. For example, the past podcast, the past video was the effects of bad habits of being on social media too much, on how that has an impact on the mind, right, and also your physical health. The effect of watching pornography too much, right? How that has an impact on the mind and also your health as well. The effects of smoking, right, and drinking, of course, right? How that has an impact on the mind and your mental health and your emotional and physical health, right? And those are areas that we focus on here at Cali Walks. And today, guys, another habit that kind of creeps in there, and not only I don't even watch TV too much really at all, like I used to when I was younger. But even there are folks even in my own immediate family that they just love to binge watch. They love to watch TV, and they just love to do. They could sit down in front of the TV for hours and not even flinch, right? They're just so immersed in it, or they'll be watching, their favorite shows, over and over again, or even or finding new series to watch, right? And I'm pretty sure you know someone like this as well too. And it feels good, right, guys? It feels good to sit down and to watch your favorite show, right? It feels good to sit down and watch your favorite show, right? And I'll be honest, I even used to watch a lot of Game of Thrones, sit down and watch, just binge watch seasons, and could spend the whole day, right, just sitting down watching multiple episodes, right? And it'll be like 2, 4, 6, 8 hours, and then next thing you know, the time passes by, right? And this when I was younger, in my younger days. But I realized that, of course, like anything else, if you do it a lot and too much, it becomes a bad habit, guys, right? And it's very important to understand why, right? Why is it just not good? And let's start with the basics, guys, here, right? Because Cali Walks, we always start with the basics. It's very important, guys, not to do it, right? Not to sit down and binge, right? One, because it is when you're sitting down and binging a let's say a Netflix show or another streaming show, right? Or let's say it could even be sports, right? You're just always watching it, right? And you're sitting there for hours, right? It is not good. One, because you're spending time doing something that could have been more productive. Two, uh, you could end up forgetting things that are supposed to be done that are important, right? And it just goes to show it over and over again, right? And three, it also acts as just another distraction, right? Let's say you're supposed to get a project done, or you're really motivated and yeah, you really want to get something done, right? Let's say a project or an assignment done that you need to get done, but you end up sitting there and streaming, right? Or even, let's say, excessively scrolling through social media, right? Even some people, a distraction could be even just smoking too much, right? Or even drinking too much. When you're doing these habits, guys, right? When you're actually just doing these habits and doing these things unconsciously, right? uh, you're not helping yourself, right? And you're actually, another thing that I realized and found out, that these habits, guys, these are habits that these are habits that are done daily. So it's like your brain is creating a pattern neurologically in your mind, and that those habits, guys, are just done over and over and over again. And for some people, it's really hard to break those habits. It's not impossible, right? But it's hard, right? Let's say, even for example, someone who is trying to quit smoking or drinking, they have that habit neurologically wired in their mind, already in their habit, subconsciously reaching for the cigarette, right? Or reaching for the joint, or reaching for that drink, right? Subconsciously, that's already in their mind. Or even, let's say, for example, somebody scrolling on social media too much, subconsciously, that's in your mind. The first thing that you do is grab your phone, right? You grab your phone because that's subconsciously, that's in your mind. That's a habit that you've picked up on, that you started doing, right? And now, when you're aware of this, guys, that's the first step, and that's a good thing. When you're aware of this, let's use the example for social media for a second. When you're aware of this, guys, that's the first step. You're aware of it. You're saying, you know what? I'm on it for too long. Right? You start to feel something in your body. Your senses are overstimulated. Your mind, there's something happening in your brain, right? So you're aware of it, right? You should immediately say, that's the first step, right? Am I going to keep doing this, or am I going to stop? Right? When you're aware of it, that's the first step to actually getting better, right? When you're aware of it, you're like, oh, shoot, you know what? I'm off this, right? I'm off this. Subconsciously, and I used to do this a lot too. Wake up in the morning, pick up my phone, open up Facebook, open up Instagram. That's a subconscious. That's a habit that's been built in. That's been wired in, because that's been started years back, right? Now you have to break it. The first step is being aware and saying, "Oh, you know what? This is not right." Right. So instead of doing that, instead of opening Facebook, now I open the Holy Bible app. Now I start reading the Word. Instead of open that app, I said, "Nope. Let's open the Bible app. Let's start reading the Word of God, the Word of Jesus." Let's substitute that bad habit with something that's better, with something that's more productive, with something that's going to build me up even better, that's going to build you up even more, right? That's what it is there. When you're aware of it, you say nope, and you fill it with something that's better, right? And this is something, guys, that you have to practice daily, right? And I give that example for social media, right? Because, and I know you guys that are watching, you guys that are tuning in, you guys can relate, right? Because subconsciously in your mind, you've been programmed to do that, right? And even if you even know, yes, you want to stop it, and you have to be intentional. The way it's not going to stop by itself. You have to intentionally stop it, right? You have to intentionally get off the device. You have to intentionally shut down the show. You have to intentionally shut it off. Intentionally grab something, right? Specifically, we have the solution. Many of you guys are saying, "Well, what's the solution? What can I really do, right? What is the solution? What other good habits are there, Calvin? Really, what is there?" Well, go ahead and refer to the Cali Walk schedule and principles, guys. We have the solution there for you guys. So there's really no excuse. You grab the schedule, you say, you know what's on there? What can what is there that, I don't want to watch another 2, 4, 6 hours of whatever show I'm watching. What else? What other productive thing can I do? Right. So tomorrow and next week and next month or next year, I could actually, uh, you know, I've actually built something that I can use that actually is going to better myself, my time, my health, and everything like that. So you grab the schedule and you say, you know what? I'm actually going to read more. Or you know what? I'm actually going to journal more. Or you know what? I forgot to stretch today. I'm gonna go stretch. Or you know what? I forgot to meditate and pray today. Why don't I do that? Or you know what? I forgot to exercise today, right? Why don't I go ahead and see what's out there? Let me get uncomfortable a little bit. Let me actually move. Let me exercise my heart, which is a muscle that needs to be exercised, and let me do that, right? Or you know what? And you look at the schedule there. Right, if you guys don't know where the schedule is, go ahead, visit caliwalks.org. Go ahead and click Get Started. Right, and then from there, it'll tell you a little bit of what CaliWalks is all about. Go ahead, click Get Started. It's going to bring you to the product page where you can get the products, the 3 signature products, CaliWalks Generalized Schedule, the Get Back on Track Principles, and the Stay on Track and the Stay on Track schedule, the specialized schedule, guys. Right. So I always say, get the generalized schedule first. With the principles, you apply that for at least 12 to 36 months, guys. That's about a year to 3 years. That's allowing yourself time to grow in those areas. That's allowing yourself time to break those habits that you've accumulated throughout the years. That's giving yourself time to grow, right? And the main thing, like I always say, guys, is that it's not about being 100% perfect the first time or every time. No, it's about growth. It's about that stability, right? So if you and it's about putting 100% effort. So I'm telling you guys, let's say the first couple of days, the first week or first couple of weeks, you're growing just a little bit. Right, first month it's going there, it's getting there. Second month, let's say you're growing a little bit more, but then you slip off a little bit, but then you're coming back. You're coming back, right? So think of it like kind of like a graph. You know you may go up a little bit, down, up, down, but over time, guys, it's linear, right? So you're moving in an upward forward direction. You're growing, right? Over time, you're breaking those habits day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. So there's supposed to be a growth that's being taken place there, right? And that's what it is. That's what makes it so effective. And just so simple, guys, because it's simple tasks, everyday tasks, so simple that most people just neglect because they're distracted, right? They're getting distracted, right? And there's so many distractions out there that are trying to get your attention from here to there to there to there, thus messing up and affecting as well your mental health and how you view things, and then thus affecting even your physical and even emotional health, right? So you see where that outcome can lead you, right? That's why it's very important to remain focused, right? We say stay grounded, you know. Uh, don't think you're missing anything out there. You're not missing anything out there. And another thing too, what's kind of funny when I say missing things out there too, is that people tend to really get on social media and watch and watch and watch because I was reading another article too. It's because they fear of missing out on something. It's FOMO. They fear on missing out on something, which is a total lie, right? You're not missing out on anything, right? So imagine, I mean, you spend years doing that, thinking that you're missing out on something, but you're actually really wasting your time and you're actually developing worse habits and you're actually not even growing, right? So you're actually declining, right? And there's research that's proven that excessive social media use and even excessive TV streaming and watching too much TV and watching too much of these streaming shows, right? Uh, actually declines cognitive functioning. It actually decreases the size and also can shrink your brain, right? And so, and this is real research here, right? And I'm reading from northwesternmedicine.org. This is a source here. Um, so, a couple ways TV affects your health. Binge watching is like a drug, right? So, who knew binge watching your favorite series could produce a high, right? When you're engaged in an activity you enjoy, your brain produces dopamine, a chemical that promotes feelings of pleasure, excitement, and happiness. The release of dopamine helps us feel good, right? And it results in a high similar to that induced by drugs and other substances with addictive qualities, right? So that's pretty consistent there, right? So if somebody is taking a drug and they want to get high all the time, that's that dopamine feel good effect that it produces. And that same dopamine, that same effect, and that same high feeling is the same high as if you were binge watching your favorite TV show, things like that, right? So your brain craves more and more. And as long as you continue to binge, your brain produces dopamine, right? Do you see that, guys? Do you see how, you don't even have to physically smoke a drug or smoke anything that produces that dopamine, that feel good feeling in your brain. You can, this technology and these things that we have, which I mean, it's great, right? It's great. But again, guys, if you're not careful, if you're not moderating it, it could also be very detrimental, right? And again, it's producing that high, right? So no wonder 73% of people surveyed by Netflix reported that they have positive feelings when they binge watch, right? That's 73% of surveyed people, right? Our behaviors and thoughts, when repeated over time, can become actual neural patterns and habits that are hard to break or change, says Northwestern medicine psychiatrist Dr. Dinesh Alam, right? And so these guys at Northwestern Medicine, I mean, these guys are practicing what they're saying, right? These guys, they study this stuff, right? And so, and it's true, right? This is exactly what I was saying before, right? Where behaviors and thoughts, when repeated over time, guys. So when that behavior, when you're always binge watching Netflix, right? When you're always so scrolling on social media, right? When you're always picking up that cigarette and smoking, or picking up that blunt, whatever, and smoking, when you're always doing those things, or always drinking, right? When you're always doing those things, or even the last topic we were talking about, watching too much pornography. When you're doing those things, guys, it can become actual neural patterns and habits that are hard to break or change, right? So, you know, there's, you really, there's no running or hiding here, guys, because I mean, this is the actual truth, guys, right? There's science behind it, right? And like other addictive behaviors, binge watching can create a pseudo addiction to the show, explains Dr. Alam. As a result, marathon viewing can adversely affect your relationships, goals, and commitments. You may struggle to control how much time you spend watching TV, or you may find that you need to continually increase the time you spend watching TV to experience the same degree of satisfaction. Isn't that like a drug, guys? Like imagine, like, if you were, if you smoked any type of drug, or, let's just use, marijuana, for example, and, that's the drug that's the drug of your choice, and you're looking to stay on that high, or you're looking to always stay on that highest level, you're gonna need more of that thing to feel that same degree of satisfaction, guys. I mean, it's clear sign. I mean, it's the same thing, right? So you may become defensive, irritable, or unreasonable when asked to stop, and you may even start lying to cover up your binging, right? Because again, I mean, anybody that has any sort of addiction, of course, that's how they're going to be acting, right? Uh, He goes on to further even say that watching TV has traditionally been a way to wind down, right? And it is, right? And we always say here in the principles, guys, right? We give you guys the principles to limit scrolling, to limit watching TV or streaming to only at most 2 hours a day, guys. Right? That's 2 hours a day. That's more than enough time, right? Anything over 2.5, 3 hours, guys, you're binging there, right? And you're doing too much, and you're really not doing anything, right? You're really not exercising. You're really not challenging yourself, right? In those areas that we focus on in Cali Walks, right? And you're really not challenging yourself, and you're really. Uh, it even says that it's a sedentary behavior. So kind of just like sitting back, like you're sitting back like a couch potato, right? You're not doing anything, right? And that's pretty much what it is, right? So anyways, guys, uh you know, and it also says that watching TV, right? And this is from northwesternmedicine.org, right? So watching TV has traditionally been a way to wind down. It can bring a temporary relief from the daily stress of work, school, and parenting. Yes, that's true, right? In that correct moderation, not overwatching, right? However, binge watching makes it easy to disconnect from people with multiple streaming accounts and multiple ways to view a show. It's easy to retreat to your corner of the house and zone out for hours at a time. Okay, binge watching. Researchers also show that binge watching interferes with sleep, right? So when you're watching back-to-back episodes of your favorite show, it may excite your brain, as a result, interfere with your ability to sleep. Squeezing in just one more episode can cause you to stay up late, leaving you feeling tired and drained the next day, right? Some of you guys may be watching or even listening, tuning in, right? Shout out to you guys, more and more of you guys that are tuning in. You guys are really getting a lot here. It's really a blessing for you, and really apply what I'm saying. Really take it to heart there. I know you guys are, and actually doing something about it. Right. when you're doing that, guys, when you're feeling like that, you're feeling you're feeling drained the next day, right? You're feeling drained the next day, guys, right? Like you're tired. Well, why are you tired? I mean, you got a good night's sleep, right? You went to sleep at probably 10 or 11. You got a good full 8, maybe 9 hours of sleep, but you still feel tired and drained. Why? What's going on? Well, it could be because you're binging too much and you're putting too much pressure on your mind, on your brain there. Okay. It could be that you're scrolling too much as well. Studies actually found that, and I was reading this too in the National Library of Medicine, um, with just digital technology and digital media, that excessive social media scrolling, again, if you're up all night scrolling, that's also affecting how you're sleeping as well. It also can affect how you sleep, and then you feel tired and drained the next day, and then you don't want to really do anything, right? So again, guys, these habits, guys, they are they it is possible to break them. You're not a slave to these habits here, guys, right? You're not a slave to uh, doing these things. You may be saying, well, this is something that I want to do, and all this other stuff. I think that this is my life. I can never change, and I can never change it. And I'm going to say, guys, that is a lie, right? It is not your life, and you can change it, right? The fact that you're tuning in, listening, the fact that you're watching, the fact that you're still here, right, means that you do want to change it, means that you can change it, means that, yes, it's going to require you intentionally doing it, moving from it, and doing something more positive, something that's going to build you up, right? That's going to challenge you, something new, right? Instead of doing the same things over and over again. Just imagine, like, there are people that are out that are just waking up, you know, that don't even do anything. But except all they do is binge watch or even play too much video games or just stay at home, or all they do is just on the TV or on the computer all day, not doing anything, guys. That actually brings me that actually now I'm starting to remember, because I actually watched a documentary um, of people playing too much video games, and this was, I believe, in Japan or in China, but one of these Asian countries where people, like, they were gathered in an apartment building, and literally some of these guys were living in like literally just a one room with a little bathroom. All they would do was just play video games all day, and they didn't care about anything, and their diet was poor. All they cared about was video games. They didn't do anything else. And actually, guys, you can even research this. Some of them actually passed out and died because all they wanted to do was just play video games. So um, they didn't care about their health. They didn't care about their mental health. They didn't care about their physical health, guys. They didn't care about anything else but just playing video games, guys. And that's all they wanted to do, because that, and their brains and their minds were wired to just do that, guys. And that is just sad there, guys, right? That is just sad, right? uh that's what they did their whole life, and you could say, well, that's all they did, right? They really didn't have a life after, outside of that, and that's unfortunate, right? Moreover, guys, there are other negative health effects, right? So research has found that the more lonely and depressed people reported to be, the more likely they were to binge watch TV, right? And back problems, right? Posture is an important part of spine health, right? Poor posture while watching TV can cause your spine to be curved or weak, leading to bad back pain and musculoskeletal issues, guys. right? So let's say if you're always just sitting down and not a chair, or let's say it might be your couch, or you could be on a mattress or your bed or whatever, you're just sitting there, slunched over, clicking on the TV screen, clicking on the remote, and watching TV that full amount of time, let's say 3.5, 4 hours. And that time, guys, you have poor posture, so it can lead to back problems as well. Other thing that research has shown is that the respiratory function is greatly decreased among healthy young men sitting in a slumped position compared with healthy young men sitting with proper posture, right? And then also, if you're spending too much time, more time on the couch and less time exercising, your risk for heart disease, including stroke, is higher, guys, right? And that's another risk there that you take by binge watching too much TV and too much Netflix, guys. Right. Now, like I say, guys, there are solutions. There is solutions, guys, right? First of all, you can even limit yourself. Like I say, guys, follow the principles. Limit to yourself, at most to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at most watching Netflix, your favorite show, right? Most shows are about 30 minutes to an hour. Maybe watch an episode or two, call it quits, guys. Right? You don't need to keep watching the same episode over and over, or even more and more, guys. And some of you guys that are tuning in, that are listening in, some of you guys maybe even just watching TV, but then what we also now we're in the digital realm, right? We also have our phone devices, right? So you could just be also on your phone scrolling, but also watching TV. That's a double whammy there, guys. So you're really not winning, right? So again, guys, turn it off, cut it off, and let's start actually doing something that's actually going to be more productive, right? That's going to be more productive, right, for you in the long run. Something you're starting to break those habits now, and you're starting to do the schedule. You're starting to actually do those activities and those tasks on the schedule, right? So instead of binge watching for hours, now you're actually going to shut that thing off, and you're actually going to pick up your favorite book or your favorite article, or let's say you have something to do with your project or your business, or let's say work or whatever, and you're going to do that. Or you even might even go exercise, go to the gym, right? Call a workout buddy, go to the gym, right? Or even let's say meet up with, let's say, a family member or friend you haven't met in a little while. Maybe catch up a little bit, talk about positive things, stay away from drama and negative behavior, right? Things like that, guys, right? Things that are actually going to build you up and not tear you down, guys, right? Very, very important, guys. Right. Now, uh, this is from John Hopkins University here, and they even more research has been done as well too, and that uh, they realized that uh, zoning out in front of streaming shows, right? Or just zoning out, just watching your favorite series, right? Excess TV viewing might shrink your brain, and that's literally might shrink, and it will shrink your brain, right? Uh, and now, meaning to say that, you know, your cognitive functioning actually can decline. Okay, and that is not good there, right? That is definitely not a good thing there. Okay. Now I'm not gonna keep going on and on about this because obviously you guys know, but leading, by watching too much television, guys, it's not leading you to anything anywhere that's positive. Okay, it's not leading. It's not. let's weigh out the I would even say pros and cons, but is it really giving you anything that's positive? And the answer, guys, is it's not. Right? It's not. Just ask yourself, what are you learning from this? Right? How can I use what I'm watching to apply it in a real world situation, or apply it for taking care of my family, or taking care of my health and myself? Uh, what I would also ask is this bettering my life in the areas that we talk about here at Cali Walks? Is this bettering my life, right? Or is this just another time killer and a waste of time, right? And another thing is that that I want you to ask is, well, why do I watch so much TV? Why do I watch so much TV? Right? Why do I watch it? What is the reason behind it? Why have I always watched so much TV? Right? And I want you to think about it, write it in your journal, and trace back your life to when you started picking up this habit. Why why you started doing this habit? What was the reason? Why do you think was the reason? I want you to think about also your environment and why this actually ended up happening. And I also want you to, be honest with yourself, write it down, get a clear picture. But also, what I want you to do is, after you think about all that, to go ahead and write down what your solutions are. How are you going to break this habit? What are ways in which you are going to better uh, yourself? What are ways in which you're going to, again, break this bad habit? What other habits can you fill? Other good habits can you fill instead of doing this bad habit, right? And I guarantee you, the more good habits you start filling in, and you don't even need to think about the good habits, especially if you have the Cali Walk schedule and principles, and write them down and say, you know what? I got the schedule today. I got the principles. Calvin was right. I'm gonna you look at it and you say, you know what? I'm actually, instead of watching Netflix so much, or binging Netflix, I'm actually gonna start writing more, right? I'm actually gonna start reading more, right? Or I'm actually gonna start, meditating or praying more, right? Or I'm actually gonna start, exercising more, right? Or I'm actually going to start this new project that I actually wanted to do. Or I actually thought about a project, I wrote it down, but I'm actually going to get back to that because it's something that I wrote down, and it's something that I want to get done, I need to get done, right? I really want you guys to take that seriously, right? To really write it down and to really execute it, guys. Right? We know that's part of the Cali Walks recipe, guys. Right? So, uh, if you're not doing it, guys, then you're not doing it, and you're not doing anything. Right? There's really nothing that um, I'm not saying that there's nothing that you can do, but it's clear night and day, guys. And another thing too, I got to say is that if you're BSing yourself more than I know if you're BSing. You could hear this, you could take it to heart, and that's great, and that's wonderful. But the best thing to do is to apply it. You're the one that's uh, you know what you're doing with your 24 hours, with your time, right? You know what it is. Cali Walks is remote. You can do it anywhere you are. So if you guys are in the United States, great. You guys are in Canada, that's awesome. About 25% of you guys are listening in, tuning in from Nigeria. Wonderful. I'm not there with you, but you know exactly what you're doing. So you know if you're BSing yourself or if you're actually doing something, right? So don't try to prove me wrong. It's not about proving me anything. It's about doing it for you. Once you know you do it for you, of course, you can own that. Then yes, take that, own that, run with it, grow with it, keep doing it, right? And that's the best thing you can do, right? That's the best thing that I know a lot of you guys, many of you guys, if not all of you guys, will do. Okay, so it's very, very, very important, guys. That's why I say it's and I talk about Cali walks a lot, with different people, and some people say, well, man, I already have my own schedule. I don't need, I'm not, I don't need this here. I don't need this schedule here. I don't need, why do I need this, right? I already have a schedule, or I already work a lot, or they give me all these excuses. And I always say, well, what you're saying could be right. Sure. But I guarantee you that there's going to be something in the schedule and principles that will challenge you, that will challenge you, right? That will challenge you, right? You think that it's so difficult to, excuse me, to stop that habit, to break that habit. It's not going to feel good, guys. It may not feel good to your flesh. It's not going to feel sweet, right? When you're trying to stop. Of course, it's a bad habit, so you have to stop it. Right? You have to stop it. Once you stop it, now you open up the time to do something that's even more productive, right? You're opening up the time to do something that's more productive, right? And it's never in vain, guys, right? It's never in vain, right? Let's say, instead of binge watching, you start reading or even writing more, right? And that's even better, guys. Right? So now you're actually, um again, guys, you're growing more, right? You're uh instead of shrinking your brain by those activities, those bad habits. Now you're opening it up, right? You're opening it up to those better habits that you can be doing, right? Right. And it's really blessing you. It's helping you, right? And you know um I'll even be honest too. I never really used to read a lot, um, even like in high school or anything like that. I always thought it was. I never really liked to read, even as a junior or senior in high school. But then, as I got older, I started to realize the importance of it, and how much just knowledge there is, and how much you could really just really change your life, and by knowing a few pieces of information, uh, versus, let's say, your competition, or versus somebody else, right? Let's say, a lot of you guys are business people, right? Or even whatever industry if you're in, just knowing certain things versus, let's say, somebody in the same industry as you are, right? It's just really amazing and astounding how, of course, how much information there out there is out there, but good information, right? Things that you want to learn. I only read things that I want to read, right? I'll tell you that. Like, I'm not going to read anything that is really that I want to read or that I need to read. I'm not going to read anything that is that, again, that's just going to be a waste of time. Like, I don't read too much fiction or novels or getting into. I don't, right? But for things that I want to read and things that are interesting, yeah, for sure, right? But again, guys, this is something uh, that I had to practice, right? I had to, you know, um, keep doing it and doing it. And of course, the more and more I read, the more I was like, oh shoot, this is very interesting, right? This is actually very interesting. It's actually like a movie playing in your mind. Like the more you actually, you're just reading, right? And it's great, right? It's great. Uh, so, anyways, guys, uh, I just wanted to come and talk to you guys about, again, guys, the effects of streaming too much Netflix, being on Netflix, or even a streaming service, for more than 2.5, 3, 4 hours, just binging, the effects of that it has on your brain, on your health, on your mental health, on your emotional health, the effects that it has. And so, and what it can lead to, guys, right? What it can lead to. And it's very, very similar to uh, the effects of using social media too much on the brain, right? So it affects attention, memory, information processing, and also your senses, guys. You're overstimulating your senses, guys, especially with all that blue light, all that technology, all that rays, all those, you know, that in your face there, all the time. That's not good, guys, right? That's not good, guys, right? Affecting cognitive function there, right? Coordination, okay? Things like that, okay? And so that's why we say to limit that. You better limit that. You better limit that because again, guys, you're up for those risks that we discussed earlier in the podcast, even in the video. You're up for those risks, guys, and it's just not good, guys. It's just not good. You end up, pretty sure some of you guys have felt this before. Just things like, you're just tired for no reason. Why? You don't know. Well, that could be the reason, right? What did you do all day? Well, I ended up doing a few, that again, that's the thing there, right? So certain things like that, guys, just small little habits, guys, those things can be and will be adjusted so that you're no longer doing them. You're no longer doing them. You don't have a desire to do that. You're just going to want to do the schedule. You're just going to want to do the schedule and you're going to want to do the principles, guys. Right. And those habits that are on the schedule and principles, guys, are those habits really hurting you at all? It's not. It shouldn't. It's not. It's not hurting you. I never know how, reading can really hurt you or journaling can really hurt you or even exercising, right? When you're doing it responsibly can really hurt you guys because it's not. Those are really, uh, again, they're simple tasks, simple habits, right? Simple habits, guys. And that's how it is, guys. Here at Calculus, we don't overcomplicate anything. It's simple, subtle, yet so sufficient, guys. Right? And that's what it is, guys. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you guys soon in the next one. Peace out.